Hello there. Welcome to An Architect Goes to Law School. Today we'll be talking about regulations such as building codes and the ADA. This is the last video for the law school class, Legislation and Regulation. Building codes. The history of government-instituted building codes stretches back millennia to approximately 3,700 years ago when the Code of Hammurabi was created. The portions of the Code of Hammurabi's text that could be considered building codes focus more on what should happen if a building is erected poorly and fails, but the general idea that sits under all modern building codes, that design and construction of habitable structures should be safe, is there in concept. Modern building codes are constantly being revised to keep up to date with new technologies, laws, and safety requirements. These building codes may be adopted statewide or by an individual municipality. Developing these codes is commonly undertaken by private companies. The International Code Council is one such company. They've created the following codes that have been adopted by many municipalities in the United States: International Building Code, International Residential Code, International Fire Code, International Energy Conservation Code, and the International Mechanical Code. Codes such as the International Building Code dictate building size, usable materials, fire ratings, and egress widths, for example. While not adopted by municipalities to the degree building codes have been, another type of building code has to do with sustainability and green building practices. The United States Green Building Council promulgates one such code, LEED certification. Depending on what design and construction measures are taken for a project, buildings can receive LEED certified, LEED silver, LEED gold, or LEED platinum certification. Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA. In 1990, the Americans with Disabilities Act was signed into federal law by President George H.W. Bush. This federal law changed the practice of architecture by requiring architects to design facilities available to the public to accommodate the needs of people with different physical and mental capabilities. Found in 42 U.S.C. Chapter 126, the parts most relevant to design and construction professionals are in Subchapter 3, Public accommodations and services operated by private entities. In the context of construction law, ADA regulations provide the accessibility requirements for building design. Some examples of these requirements are pull bars in toilet stalls, accessible sink and restroom fixture heights above the floor, a prohibition on wall-mounted objects extending more than 4 inches into an accessible pathway, and clear floor areas at doors. Most architecture firms have a standard ADA detail sheet and construction document sets for use in projects where the ADA applies. As a best practice, architects should become familiar with such dimensional and component requirements so as to prevent potentially costly and time-consuming redesigns or renovations of non-conforming projects. Municipal Code Department reviews. Code compliance is usually implemented in 3 steps by a state or municipal governmental entity. First is the adoption of the code by a legislative body, such as a state legislature or a city council. This may entail amendments that specialize the code for the needs of the municipality. Second is that many municipalities have construction, development, or plan review departments that analyze a submitted project's drawings and specifications for conformance with the applicable building codes. These plan review departments may work in conjunction with other departments, such as a fire department, or even third-party reviewers, such as private companies tasked with specific aspects of the plan review. Plan reviews are sometimes an iterative process of back and forth between the design team and the reviewers to ensure conformance with applicable codes. The third step is performed by building inspectors who visit job sites to confirm that the construction is being built to the approved plans. Work cannot be completed until such building components as structural elements, electrical systems, and fire suppression have been approved by the building inspector. For certain building types, restaurants, supermarkets, for example, health codes are another aspect of municipal code reviews. Some municipalities have very thorough health code requirements, so it's a best practice to start the entire plan review process as early as possible in a project's timeline. Feel free to comment, ask questions, and suggest topics you'd like me to discuss. Next up, we'll switch law school classes and start discussing contracts. Thank you for watching. An Architect Goes to Law School.